Some news stories for you. Today's last video is firstly an East African bloc is expanding. Two Ethiopian neighbors have joined this bloc. The bloc has been functioning for around 2 decades now. Today, Congo joined this bloc. Secondly, Ethiopian PM Abiy was seen in military uniform today. He was visiting a library in Addis Ababa. Last time he was seen dressed in military uniform, it was when Tigray forces were threatening to reach the capital Addis Ababa, and PM Abiy back then announced to join the fighting on the battlefield, and he was seen in uniform. Once again, he is in uniform. Thirdly, viewers, on Saturday, Ethiopian diaspora members are due to protest in Rome, Italy. Lastly, viewers, Tigray government has raised some questions about the recent Amnesty International Human Rights Watch report about ethnic cleansing of Tigrayans in Western Tigray, in Humra, Volkai, Sagade. Tigray government is appreciating the two bodies. At the same time, it has raised some questions about this report. Which are the questions leveled by Tigray government? How valid are these questions? Firstly, viewers, a trade bloc in the East Africa is expanding. Another country has joined this bloc. East Africa Community is the name of this bloc, EAC. Today, Congo joined this bloc. Two Ethiopian neighbors are part of this bloc now. South Sudan was part of this bloc. Now, Kenya is also part of this bloc. Now, Congo has joined this bloc. The bloc has 7 members, viewers. It has South Sudan, Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania and Congo. 7-member East African Community trade bloc, which wants to be a free trade bloc like European Union. It wants to have single currency, visa free travel for the residents of these 7 countries. Ethiopia is not part of this bloc. Why is Ethiopia not interested in joining this bloc? Because we heard a few 2 months ago, we saw announcement of the formation of a bloc by Ethiopia and 3 other countries. G4 was the name of the bloc. Ethiopia, South Africa, Nigeria and Algeria announced to be part of G4. Ethiopia does not share any border with other 3 G4 countries, with South Africa, Nigeria and Algeria. But this East African Community EAC bloc has those countries as members which share borders. These 7 countries, they share borders. Why is Ethiopia not part of this bloc? Does Ethiopia not want to be part of this bloc? Is it not interested in joining this bloc, or does it want to have a separate bloc in the form of G4, which we have not seen to be of any significance so far? Secondly, viewers, we have a new story about PM Abiy. He was seen in Addis Ababa, Ethiopian capital today. He was dressed in military uniform, though he visited a library. He visited Abiy Library in Addis Ababa. So while visiting a library, he was dressed up in military uniform. Isn't it a bit strange that he was visiting a library and he was dressed up as a military officer? Last time he was seen dressed in military uniform, it was last year when Tigray forces were threatening to reach Addis Ababa. capital of Ethiopia. Back then, he announced to join his forces on the front lines, and he was seen in Afar, he was seen in Amhara, dressed in military uniform. Once again, he is back in military uniform. Does it suggest something? Is Ethiopian government planning some new military offensive on Tigray? People say that, analysts say that, but I have my position very clear. I don't think that a new military offensive on Tigray is being planned. Preparation we have seen could be defensive. We have not seen large scale mobilization pointing towards an imminent attack on Tigray. Mobilization has been seen towards border areas, but the purpose of the mobilization has been unclear, I think. So, my assessment is that so far no major military offensive on Tigray is not in the making. He visited the library in connection with the ceremony, viewers. Some volunteers donated thousands of books to this library. A ceremony was organized and PM Abiy took part in the ceremony. Thirdly, viewers, Ethiopian diaspora members are due to protest on Saturday in Italy. Rome is the city where this protest will be held. The protest will be held against HR 6600 S3199, two bills pending with the US House and Senate. So the bills have been suspended, you can say. They are pending. They have been kept pending because US government wants to see the outcome of the truce announced around 2 weeks ago by Ethiopian government. But bills still stand. They can be put to vote in the House and the Senate. Ethiopian government is taking this position that the two bills should be abandoned and they should not be put to vote. They should not be kept like a hanging sword over Ethiopia. Let's see what will happen in Rome tomorrow. We'll update you about the rally, how many diaspora members will be part of this protest. We'll update you tomorrow about this protest due to be held in Italy. Lastly, viewers, Tigray government has raised some questions about an inquiry report released by Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch 3 days ago. The two bodies released the report about ethnic cleansing, human rights abuses committed against Tigrayans in Western Tigray, Humra, Volkai, Sagade. After the release of the report, Ethiopian government did not reject it, but it also raised some questions. It called into question the intent of the two human rights bodies, that they recommended some actions, they discussed some political issues. So it called into question the intent of the two organizations. What is Tigray government saying? Tigray government firstly says that this report is just tip of the iceberg. Though it's a detailed report documenting atrocities committed against Tigrayans, but still it's just tip of the iceberg. What is required is a detailed, impartial investigation to uncover all human rights abuses committed against Tigrayans in Western Tigray. Secondly, the Tigray government says that though last year US State Department said that ethnic cleansing of Tigrayans was being committed in Tigray, this report does not use the word genocide. It should have used the word genocide. It has been a demand of Tigray government since the start of Tigray conflict, that genocide of Tigrayans is being committed in Western Tigray, other parts of Tigray as well. And we saw some discussions in US Congress to designate human rights abuses committed in Tigray genocide. But so far, US government, human rights organizations, they have not designated human rights abuses in Tigray as genocide, though it has been a consistent demand of Tigray government. Thirdly, Tigray government says that it's not too late, though international community has been slow to stop the genocide of Tigrayans, but even there is time. International community should intervene to stop a large-scale extermination project against Tigrayans. And fourthly, it says that the report uses some phrases like disputed territory, contested territory about Western Tigray. These words shouldn't have been used. Western Tigray is part of Tigray, no question about the status of this area. Tigray government has criticized Ethiopian Human Rights Commission, which compiled a report about Maikadra, in which it accused Tigray fighters of having committed atrocities against Amharas in Maikadra town. Tigray government said that Human Rights Commission has the backing of Ethiopian government. It's not an independent body. That is why it is raising questions about this report of Amnesty and HRW. Lastly, Tigray government is urging the international community that it must put pressure upon the Ethiopian government to stop what's happening in Tigray, in Western Tigray, in terms of destroying evidence. Tigray government says that Amhara regional government, their forces, they are destroying the evidence of atrocities committed in Tigray, the tampering with the evidence. International community must stop Ethiopian government from destroying the evidence. At the end, Tigray government is calling upon the international community that international community must put pressure upon the Ethiopian government so that UN Human Rights Commission could start its work in Ethiopia. The commission was formed last year, then I think in February its members were announced, 3 members. Last month Ethiopia tried to stop funding for this commission, but it could not. Now Ethiopia has announced that it would not give access to this commission. The commission members will not be able to travel to Ethiopia. Tigray government says that international community must ensure that the commission members, they are given access to travel to Ethiopia and they start their work regarding uncovering of human rights abuses committed in Tigray, Amhara, Far. But so far, it seems that Ethiopian government is not willing to allow the commission members to start the investigation into the 3 regions, Tigray, Amhara, Far. So overall, we can sum up that Tigray government has raised some questions about the report, but it has accepted it. It's not rejecting it, but it wants more. It wants human rights abuses committed in Tigray designated as genocide, which has been a demand of the government for months. Thank you for watching.